Welcome to Big Y Business Chats, brought to you by Ethical Hour, the go-to online community for business owners with a bigger purpose, who work for people, planet and profit. I'm your host, Sian Conway-Wood, an ethical marketing strategist, sustainability writer and founder of Ethical Hour. In these conversations, I interview inspiring Big Y business founders to find out how they're making positive change happen and how you can too. Let's meet today's guest. Today, I'm joined by Dom Desmond, who is the founder of Critically Endangered Socks, which is my baby daughter's favourite accessories brand, starting her young. And they are saving animals and the rainforest one step at a time. Welcome, Dom.
Thank you for inviting me, Sian.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Tell us about Critically Endangered Socks.
So, where do I start? So, Critically Endangered Socks, we sell socks that help some of the world's most critically endangered animals. So, by buying, a particular pair of socks, a particular design, you're helping a particular species of animals.
It's Endangered Species Day, and that's what's bringing us together. Tell us why saving endangered animals is important to you, Dom.
Yeah, so first off, happy Endangered Species Day. I've always been really interested in nature, and, the jungle boy in me wanted to spend a little bit of time in a tropical forest surrounded by animals. So at the ripe age of 17, I was lucky enough to be able to experience the northern rainforests of Borneo. And that's when I first laid eyes on the sort of fluffy, orange, long-armed orangutan, beautiful creatures. Going back to Borneo in 2017, I had a real awakening. So, the 1,000-year-old rainforests I'd walked through as a teenager were now no more than large piles of logs placed by mathematically planted palm oil saplings and miles of sort of logging roads. An estimated 3 million trees have been cut down in Borneo since 1994. And what's more, the orangutan I'd seen are now endangered and the brink of extinction. So, this genuinely boiled my blood, and it was probably the fire, I needed to start my company. And it's why, for me, saving endangered animals is just essential and really important.
Those palm oil plantations, I think, we are all familiar now with, that heartbreaking footage of the orangutan trying to fight off the bulldozer. And We've seen it on documentaries, we've seen it on the television. But I think until you go to parts of the world where they are growing palm oil, you can't fully appreciate just the scale of the problem. And it's only really when you fly over and see it from the air, isn't it, that you really get that monoculture, that destruction that's happened and what's going on there. So it must be so powerful to have seen kind of pre-plantations when it was this luscious rainforest, and then to go back and see obviously the changes that have happened not for the better. It must be really powerful. Can you tell us a bit about the big why behind your work and what's really driving this fire in your belly for change?
Yeah, as I sort of mentioned, it's protect some of the world's most endangered animals and habitats by selling eco-friendly products. And I don't think the two can sort of be separate. I think, if you're protecting habitats and animals, you have to really be selling products that don't also sort of hurt the earth. And, the orangutan's just one example of the more than 13,000 endangered animals that we know of, which, as I said, is why each product protects a different species. So, love pandas, and you can buy a pair of panda socks, and a portion of the sales will go to WWF, who are on the ground, helping restore the pandas' habitats. I buy an orangutan teddy for my niece and nephew every Christmas. And really, it just breaks my heart that they might never get to see orangutans in the wild. And that's my big why, really. It's products, but with a purpose to help endangered animals.
I share that sadness that these animals might be gone, and just we need to do everything we possibly can to stop that from happening and to put a halt to this mass extinction that we're in. And I think you're absolutely right that you can't be manufacturing products that are then being sold for a cause unless that cause is really embedded in the product. So tell us a little bit more about how you've made your products eco-friendly and what does that look like for Critically Endangered Socks?
Yeah, so it's been a long road, and I think if you're creating eco-friendly products, I think you really need to look at every part of the process, even from sort of who you hire. But just in terms of products, we found a really amazing sustainable material called GOTS certified organic cotton. We tried and trialed a number of different materials, and it was when speaking to WWF that we learned that GOTS is actually, one of the most sustainable materials that you can use. So to make the socks, it's GOTS organic cotton. We then package the socks in some beautiful recycled cardboard packaging. inside the packaging itself, we have these beautiful kind of fact sheets that tells you a little bit about the animal. So as well as the sustainable route, we also want to kind of inform and teach our customers about, how they're helping and how they can help more to protect animals. But yeah, making sustainable products is really hard, and it takes a long time and a lot of research. Each part of the cycle, I think you need to understand which materials, which messages to put out to your customers, and each part is very important.
Definitely. And I think one of the things that really stands out about your product for me is the level of quality as well. And we were talking just before we started recording about the fact that they're the only baby socks I've found that actually stay on. You've really spent time thinking about the quality of that. It's breaking some of those stereotypes about what ethical and sustainable looks like, and actually just showing that every product should be ethical and sustainable, and this consideration should go into all of it, and you can't compromise on quality with that.
Yeah, and I think it's all about patience as well. And I think it's it's not releasing products too quickly. It's making sure each one is crafted, not just the design, but the messaging, and not just the messaging, but also the actual product itself, right? So you're talking about the baby socks. I went through about 15 lines of testing with my sister's baby, my niece. Each sock kept kind of falling off and kind of slowly lowering down these cute chubby legs of my niece. But it was only sort of the 15th try that we found, this design that really worked and also could sort of be turned into a hand puppet as well. So it's through kind of patience and trial and error and sort of product testing that you can really get to a product that you can be proud of and that your customers will love.
You took our quiz. Which type of Big Y business founder are you? And What were your results, Dom?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for the quiz. It was amazing. It was really good fun. I got Impact Innovator.
And that is spot on for you, I think, because an Impact Innovator is all about seeing opportunities where other people see problems. So, you firsthand saw the issues out in Borneo with the rainforest destruction, the loss of species, and saw that as something that you wanted to tackle and change, not just something that you were going to accept. And I think that's a really big part of this profile. But then, innovator, it is all about doing something new, doing things better, redesigning, rebuilding, making things right. And so that just absolutely fits with the process that you've been through to design such a high quality product and really embed your impact and embed these partnerships with charities and things and really think about these animals that you want to protect. So I'm glad it worked. That's really good. Did it resonate for you when you read the profile?
Yeah, it did. I think charity giving is really difficult. Even if you care about nature and want to help, it's sometimes difficult to donate or even more difficult to know who to donate to. There's so many amazing, especially animal charities, but there's so many amazing charities out there. You might run a marathon or sort of pen letters to the government or like live off grid in a solar powered house. But having sort of a small positive impact can really be as simple as buying a pair of socks. And I think that, I don't know, I feel like that's a cool innovation to the charity space. And I think just, making charity giving a little bit easier, I think is sort of part and parcel of what I wanted to do with the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's so kind of timely at the moment as well. Obviously, coming through the pandemic, and a lot of people will be wanting to make an impact but might not have the financial resources that they had before. And just limited time, limited resources to really make an impact. I think when it's really embedded in the products that we buy anyway, we all need socks, and it's something that we're going to buy new. We're not going to necessarily go and buy secondhand, which is a more sustainable choice for some products, that we can buy secondhand. But there are certain things that we're always going to buy new. So if we can buy new and know that product is as sustainable as it can be, and it's got that added impact as well, then it's a win-win for everybody. It's that real triple bottom line of people, planet, profit.
Yeah, love that, Sian. Couldn't have put it any better.
Really important. So what has been the biggest challenge that you've faced in building a Big Y business, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, there are some serious, amazing sort of sky high highs, and there are some dark times. But like I said previously, I feel like the biggest challenge sort of throughout the process, not just sort of bits of it, but throughout has for me been patience. Patience with your manufacturer, patience with your brand, patience with your logo, your socials. I'm someone who if I have, something that excites me or grabs me or really kind of it's part of my kind of inner being, I'm someone who likes to run 100 miles an hour at it. But, for example, I had to bug WWF sort of 2 years before they decided to collaborate with me. I nearly teared my hair out my first run of socks. They weren't the right design. They weren't the right color. I think I went through sort of 15 sample designs and materials before I was happy. And yeah, it really killed me at the beginning, but patience has really paid off. And I think being patient and not rushing into anything is particularly important when starting a big wide business. You have this sort of bigger reason for being, bigger reason for doing it. And you really need to get that right. And you need to get that right across the whole sort of spectrum of your business. So being patient is really important, but it's really difficult.
That's a very common challenge for impact innovators, for sure, because it's that high creative energy. It's that seeing a problem and wanting to solve it right now. And I think, whatever kind of big wide business founder you are, we can all relate to that, just wanting to create change and also feeling that urgency, in terms of the climate crisis, in terms of the mass extinction that we're in. This stuff is happening at such a rate that we need change to happen at that rate as well. But I think you're right that actually the patience and the time that it takes can actually be a real virtue, because it means that, number one, you're creating something really high quality that's built to last. So that's going to slow down mass consumption, which is really important and a challenge in itself for a brand, because how do you balance that? But also number two is, it's building that sustainable future, isn't it? It's making sure that the solutions that we come up with today don't create the problems of tomorrow. If you're yearning to make a difference and you get goosebumps thinking about all the ways that your business could change lives and protect the planet, then it's time to ask yourself, how will your business change the world? Find out what kind of big why business founder you are with our free quiz. You'll get a detailed profile exploring how to use your unique skills and superpowers to bring your vision for change to life. And you'll get tailored advice to help you overcome the challenges that you may face along the way. Head to ethicalhour.co.uk/quiz to find out what type of big why business founder you are today. On the flip side of that, Dom, what is the best thing about bringing your big why to life?
Yeah, good question. Again, so many highs. Being able to collaborate with charities like WWF, I've followed WWF from when I was a kid. Being able to come up with fun products like the baby socks that double as hand puppets, where a portion of the sales directly help endangered baby animals in the world. It's such a beautiful and fulfilling process. And I feel so empowered every day, to open my laptop and look at the emails. And genuinely that's my reason for being. And that is definitely the best thing about bringing the big why to business. It's not just the sales that excites you, but it's the cause as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. My favorite day of the month is what we call our impact day, when we log on and make our donations and make our impact and do that. And it just reminds you why you're doing things, but also that impact adds up so much that you do that every month or, every quarter, however you do it in your business. But then you see it over the course of a few years, the impact that's making. It's so rewarding. 100%.
And again, it takes patience again to, you want to make all this impact straight away. But, it does take sort of a year, 2 years, 3 years to start making that impact. So, yeah, it takes patience, but it's a beautiful part of the business.
What is next for Critically Endangered Socks? What are you working on at the moment?
A lot of exciting stuff. I won't give too much away, but yeah, we're currently commissioning the design of a product that is completely new to us. And I'll just say this, it's not socks. But we're hoping customers will fall in love with it. We've seen the designs, or the first designs so far, and they're absolutely beautiful. And we're excited to launch it around October time. So watch this space. And as well as that, we're releasing a few other sock designs. So we're not moving away from the sock space completely. But as well as that, we're growing our team of sort of green-fingered animal fanatics. And personally, I'm realizing the importance of bringing, the best inspiring talent on board. people who are better than you at some things. I specialize in kind of design and art direction. I'm an art director by trade, but I'm not very good at copywriting, or I'm not very good at accounting. So it's about bringing amazing people on board who have skills that you don't, especially sending a shout out to Cecily, Rach and Amy, part of my team. So yeah, it's about building for me now a team of people who can sort of realize the vision. And then other than that, we have built a swanky new website, which is now live, which allows us to be a lot more open about our charity giving, telling customers how much we've donated to WWF, how much rainforest we're protecting with the World Land Trust. I think with a Big Y business, it's about making it simple and really showing customers what you're doing and what you've done.
Yeah, I think you're right that it's really important that actually we tell our stories of the Big Y, we tell where we've come from in that process, but also we share that data transparently about the impact that we are making. Because when you think about who we're up against, it's the Amazons of the world, built for convenience, built with all the psychologically manipulative marketing techniques to get you to spend, we could talk a whole different episode about that. But when we're up against that and we want to create a shift in the culture and the way that we spend and the way that we make an impact, I think sharing that journey and bringing people along with that is really important. And it's amazing that you're expanding your team and bringing people on internally with that as well. That must be really rewarding.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally, Dom, what advice would you give to anyone that is listening that wants to embed more positive impact into their business?
Yeah. First off, for me, positive impact has to be there from the beginning. And I truly believe this. Every purchase decision, every material choice, down to every hire has to align back to that positive impact message. You see way too many, and I've worked in advertising in my time. I've seen way too many conglomerates, and there are a few fizzy drink companies that come straight to mind that try to push fake positive impact messages to customers. 99% of the time they are found out. But rant over, if you want to make a impact, then business is an amazing way to do that. And really my only advice would be to choose one cause that you personally really, really, really care about and do not deviate away from that. My one cause was endangered animals. I had that experience in the rainforest, which I was very privileged to have. And that has been my guiding light throughout my business.
That's such good advice, and obviously shines through your new website, which looks brilliant. We'll link it all up so people can go and check you out and learn more. But I think that comes back to that storytelling. Like, it really just shines through if you just focus on, your North Star of what your impact is, which is the endangered animals. And it doesn't mean that all the rest isn't there, the sustainable materials, the recycled packaging, everything else. But that can become a very complicated story to tell and can overwhelm consumers. And I think if we want to create change in the mass market, it is about having those really kind of solid stories that people can buy into and causes that they can get behind. And you do that so well. Thank you so much, Dom, for coming and sharing your Big Y with us and telling us more. Happy Endangered Species Day. And I can't wait to see what you're going to reveal later in the year with this new product.
Haha. Yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast, Sian. It's been amazing.
You've been listening to Ethical Hour's Big Y Business Chats. To connect with inspiring Big Y business founders and find all the support, connection, opportunities and training that you need to make an income and an impact from your Big Y business, don't forget to join our community today. You'll find us at community.ethicalhour.com. Thank you for listening.